Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Libra. If Libra is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so our card tonight is the Princess of Wands. It's a very passionate card, right? The Earth of Fire. Okay, now let's take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. And so, as you can tell, I am still sick here. I've had the flu. I thought I was getting fully better. I'm still just so congested. So I apologize for that. And now, if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. It is free to subscribe. So we do have this very large heart right here and a heart within it. I can also see we have a little heart here with an arrow. And it does. To me, it's, and there's a little one right there. It seems, especially with this Princess of Wands energy, we are dealing with a case of some kind of love, right? Now, I don't know that this is exactly romantic love. It could be. It could be love of family. It could be friendship. It could be interior love, and of course, love of God or the divine, the universe, spirit. It is a beautiful word, agape, right? And some consider this the highest form of love. Okay. I wonder if this is not the case here, because we have a person who is kind of sitting in this peak of the heart and in this kind of kneeling position, this very kind of devotional, votive posture. And we have this lovely little kind of roof. It looks like a beautiful little temple, and something that would indicate maybe being in prayer. Okay, the hand raised in this way. So I do feel like this is a time where probably your faith, your prayer work, your interior dialogue, the things that you are contemplating, meditating on, these are very central to this experience that you're going through. And I think that maybe you have intentionally shifted into a life of spirit. Not just a spiritual life, right? But a life living within and among and exuding, embodying spirit. And not to put down living a spiritual life, but I think that, sometimes, and I'm not saying this is everybody, but sometimes we can kind of adorn ourselves with aesthetics and props and trinkets and pretty words and this kind of thing. And that is our spiritual life. It's kind of the costume, the mask, the thing that we are stepping into. Now, living a life of spirit, with spirit, this is kind of woven into all aspects of being. Does this mean that you're striving for a perfect life? Are you a most balanced and moral and what I don't traditional I'm thinking of some kind of holy position or title. No, this can be it for you, of course, but to be with spirit, of spirit, I really believe that you are whatever you are in the moment, okay? And if that looks horrific, sometimes, we're out here screaming and stomping our foot and pushing away the ones we love and having the most terrible day, week, month, years, sometimes years. And it doesn't look pretty, but it is part of your path and part of your work. And it doesn't seem perfect. To the outside witness, it might not seem like this person has lost their way. They are not with God. They don't know anything about a godly life or a life where spirit would, be of importance to them. But that's not true. It's simply not true. Sometimes we falter, and sometimes we have to falter. Sometimes we have to falter. And, we have this beautiful fire energy, right? And along with the earth. And, I've read that the Princess of Wands is kind of considered the fuel of the fire, right? And so I think of it in this way. It is like when we have to go into the furnace, right, to become fortified. And sometimes that is our path. Sometimes we have many ordeals, things that don't make sense. They just don't. And they're difficult. But when we find our way through them, we come out a more fortified person one way or another. You might be very tough and able to deal with anything. You might be quite soft and open and caring. You might be both at once, right? And so, I feel that, yeah, you've been through some things. You've been through some things. And life hasn't always been kind to you, but you have not abandoned the way. You have not abandoned your relationship with that unseen thing, that thing that is in every little fragment of the universe, right? It's just woven into every particle. Hi, honey. Hello, T. Oh, nope. Let's not knock. Come over here. Come on. Come on. Okay, I know. You have to get your consent before I just grab you, huh? That was a little bit too much. Sometimes mommy is just in such a hurry, and I don't think, hey, slow it down, right? So, I think that in this time, it's just so apparent to me. And we have this kind of little, it looks to me like a little wizard or some kind of, person kind of journeying, a hermit possibly, journeying out into the wilderness in between these two pieces of the heart. And I do feel like there's this real sense of, yes, putting to use the things that you have learned, the wisdoms. It's not just the knowledge. We can have all of the knowledge in the world at our fingertips, which we do for the most part. It doesn't really mean that much unless we learn how to transmute the pieces of it that we really need into wisdom. And we do that through applying it into functional scenarios, actually living it, actually putting it to use. I can read how to, frame a doorway. I could read many magazines about that. I could watch some, YouTubes of This Old House, which, shout out, one of my favorite shows. But it doesn't really mean that much until I go out and get those materials and I try to put that thing together myself, cut the pieces right, get them fitting, get them in there, have the right little nails and all of that, and often we think, oh yeah, I already know, I watched this whole thing, I can totally get this. We get in there, and is it as easy as it looks? No, usually it's not, and we have to figure it out. We got to have some practical experience, right? And so I think that this has been a lot of your life. The things that you have learned, you've put them to use. You have absolutely learned some deep understandings, and so I do wonder, if you have, and this is the cat over here cleaning herself, if you have decided to put those understandings, that wisdom, put it into something that you can share with other people. Maybe you are some kind of mentor. Maybe you are somebody who, I was almost thinking like a life coach, a counselor. Maybe you have YouTube videos, or you are an author, or, whatever it is. Something where you are helping others through some of their tough situations. You are helping others, by telling your own story, by guiding them, by giving people pointers where they might be missing some information. Whatever it is, I think that you have a great love for it, and it really shows. And I think that's what makes you successful in the work that you do, okay? You're not just some person that is saying, talking for the heck of it. And you don't want other people to have to kind of wander around in the dark figuring out things that, some of the stuff they have to figure out themselves, right? But if you know anything that you can help with, you're going to be there, letting them know, okay? But I also think that there's a real sense of, even when you connect deeply with people, there's still this part, it almost seems like there's a part of you that really, you reserve the sacred aspect of self, this interior experience that you have. You guard it fiercely. I feel like there's a sense of like you put forth this kind of exterior where it's like, okay, I'm very helpful. I'm very kind of open and available to people. I work very hard. I don't give up on things. I will figure this thing out. But then there are things that you just absolutely don't show anybody. It's just for you, and you will not bend on that. Okay. And so, I think that that's not a bad thing. I think that at times it can feel kind of lonely for you. Okay. I think that you sometimes worry, am I being covetous of myself? of these parts of my experience with whatever it is. I mean, if it's, your emotional interior life, these kinds of, daydreams, fantasies, your relationship with the divine or God, it maybe is something that most people wouldn't even know, right? They have no idea. But it's because it's for you. But it might also feel kind of like I'm hiding this thing, and I wish that there was somebody that in my life that I could talk to about this. And you probably have people that would be fully open, and they would support, maybe even connect with you. But I think this is one of the things that, I don't know if you will ever get to the point where you feel comfortable enough to speak of these experiences you've had, these places you've been in the interior, in your dream worlds, and so on. I can understand that. I mean, obviously here I am on this channel, and of course people in my real life, they know. And I do talk about, experiences with entities and, divine things, and I speak a lot of these things, but it hasn't always been that way, right? There are parts of my life where I absolutely don't talk about these things, and I don't know if it's appropriate. I don't know if the person, wants to hear about it or whatever. I usually let people come to me, but I can understand going through, most of your life, if not all of it, and just really keeping this stuff to yourself. And, and I don't think that's a bad thing unless it feels like a bad thing, even I have to say, a lot of people comment on the name here, Ula, right? And they think, oh, it's my name. It's not my name. My name's Lenor. But I'm fine with people saying, Ula. It is a beautiful name. But even when I was naming the channel, it was difficult for me because Ula for me is part of my personal pantheon. It's part of the feminine intelligence that really helps me connect in divination, in my insights, and my ability to kind of read patterns and synchronicities, and I experience her often, but I've had very direct experiences with her through visions and path working and things like this, and it was hard for me because I wanted to keep that for myself. I didn't, but I knew, hey, this is an energy I want to share. She is very much this channel, even more than I am. I am kind of a conduit. And so, as I see this, I think, yeah, that makes sense. But it also, I also think that we live in a world now where people are a lot more open about things, and so if you can find a way to express yourself, even if you are, like making art or writing and putting it out into the collective, you don't have to put your name on it or anything like that. You don't have to be so overt about it. But I do think that there's something to doing something with these passions, putting it into something. And so let's look a little bit more. I know that when we got into this formation, it's a beautiful, beautiful formation. So we have a 2 and an M right here. I see 2 and M. And again, I'm sorry for my sniffling and my breathing and everything. It's just one of those things. So we have another 2, another 2. It looks like 21, 21. And then we have a 3 and an 8, 38 down there. Okay. So we also have this person down here that looks like they're kind of hanging on a little bit. And so I wonder, and up here we have the 3 looks like an M on this, in this direction. And we have another person here who is, it looks like standing, but they're holding some kind of, like a stick or a switch of some kind. We also have 82 or 28 up here. And so I wonder if there may be, and this kind of maybe makes sense to me, if there has been in your life somebody who was very like stern and really almost kind of oppressive, quick to anger, maybe even in the physical expression of that. And I think this is likely as, you know, a young person. It could be that this was a relationship with somebody. It could be, you know, a parental figure or a caretaker of some kind. But I almost feel like there's a sense of trying to hide or fall away from the authentic aspects of self and your exploration, your you know, your instinct to express yourself or talk on things that maybe you know, were not welcome in the home or within this relationship, and maybe belittled about them, or kind of made to feel like if you identify with these things, or you share these things, or, you know, you tell people about this stuff, you'll be banished from this life, from this family. And, you know, that's terribly traumatic, to be kind of forced to not be who you are, or whatever you are in that moment, not given the space to explore your identities and your relationship with the, you know, unknown, with the greater world, and you know, and be drawn to something, and if you like it or not, you know, you maybe don't. Maybe it's just something, you know, whatever. But having the ability to explore in the first place, having the support, and so to me, it makes sense, you know, that there's this fear of kind of divulging these most sensitive and vital aspects of your being. Okay. And so, you know, in a very loving way, I want to tell you, I do appreciate you for being here, and also allowing yourself in your own space, in your life as it is in this moment, to be exploring still and figuring out, and you know, going where you are drawn, and you know, if you can express that very overtly or not, it doesn't matter. You know, as far as me telling you, I love that you are giving yourself this place to be, But, you know, the thing is that, you know, it is a miracle to be able to step away from that kind of brutality or conditioning or limitation. It takes a very brave person to not, you know, be utterly damaged by that in a way that really, there's almost a sense of, you know, failure to launch into the deeper aspects of your life. Okay. But you have done that for yourself. And that's truly a love letter to yourself. I mean, it really, you are the support that you have needed. You know, you are the person that, you know, you could have used to be able to, you know, to lend you the support to do these things more openly. And so, you know, I think that probably you in turn support others. You know, I think you're probably a very inclusive person, both in, you know, lifestyle and religion and philosophy and spirituality and so on. So, you know, everything in its right time, right? Now, with the M, I feel like there must be a kind of sacred word here. Something that, I don't know, maybe a word that comes to you in your visions, your meditations. Maybe it's a name or a place. But I think that this is something that kind of echoes in your mind sometimes. And it is a power utterance or word for you. Now we have, you know, this beautiful mountain and the entrance to this cave, and the cave is, you know, definitely a symbol of the Divine Mother. And I do feel like this is almost the same energy I was just explaining, that, you know, where there is that cruelty and the limitations that you have experienced because of other people, it didn't hold you down, right? And it made you dang sure that you weren't going to make other people feel like they couldn't be whatever they want to be or whatever they are or whatever. So I feel like you are a place of refuge. You are, I think of that Bob Dylan song a lot when I see the caves, that shelter from the storm. So I see somebody sitting here in, again, that kneeling posture. And there's a sense of just great love, just a fantastic amount of love. We also have the energy of earth energy, and as you can imagine, within the cave, a burning, eternal flame. Okay? And so again, right back to that kind of Princess of Wands energy. Indeed. Okay, so let's take a look. We have hearts and a spade. So, I feel like within the group, maybe this is a friends group, maybe this is family, there is a sense of lots of love, right? A lot of fire, kind of bonding everybody together. But then there's that spade. And I think this is not you, but I think somebody else in the family that they're more logical. I think they're much more of like an air energy, but I think that there's a sense of almost feeling kind of like not alienated, not cast out. It's not that, but it's kind of almost like, because there's so much fire energy around them, it's like everybody wants to support them and love on them, but not in necessarily the way that they would like. And there's a feeling of kind of treating them as if, well, what's wrong with you? Why are you always like this? Why do you not do this? Why do you not do that? All of us are okay. We're over here having fun and, whatever. And you're just over there kind of in your own world. You're completely disengaged from whatever. But I think that this is kind of like, it's not that they don't want to be. It's not that they're disengaged at all. They just experience life differently. They express themselves differently. So I think that this has always been kind of a dynamic that can kind of, I think usually it's fine, right? But sometimes it can cause some quarrels, and so I look at this and I think this is something where, maybe it would be reasonable to, if this person is open to, communicating to them what does it look like for you to be shown love? What do you like? How do you want to talk about things? Like, what would that look like for you? And sometimes we might feel like we know somebody forever, and maybe we do. This could even be like your child or your spouse or whatever. And we feel like, okay, well, I already know them so well, so I know what they're going to say. Well, when they tell us, it's like, wow, okay, so I have been assuming, that they're going to say this completely different thing, and I realize now that's kind of an extension of myself, right? How I perceive, their love language, or I perceive their communication style, or, so on and so forth. And here I am, and I realize, okay, well, this is me looking at myself and them. What they want is maybe quite different. And so, I think that, there might be a place, a little spot here, a little invitation, to learn some more, and maybe to try out some different ways of being. Here's my example. Is my husband, shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot. He is somebody who doesn't like a lot of loud sounds in the house. He doesn't necessarily, not that he doesn't like music and things like that, but when it feels chaotic, and he's coming home from, or he does film at home, but when he's coming up from his studio and he's coming into this house, and I'm cooking, and my daughter has, her music on, or that she's watching a TV show and I have my music on, and the cats are, hanging around doing stuff, and we're talking loud to each other, and and it's just, it would feel like chaos walking into that, probably. Well, I just assumed that it was it's a lively house, and how could you not like that? Well, it gives him anxiety to be around that much, abruptly anyways, that much stuff happening. And so I have had to learn, right? I've had to figure out, how can we be, when he's coming around, right? When he's done with his stuff, how can we kind of change things a little bit so it's not so jarring, right? And we do that because we love each other. And that's what we do for family. We figure out, how do we make this an environment that everybody feels comfortable in? Does it always have to be a little bit quiet? Or, you know, if music is going, we're going to turn off the TV and you know, and not have a million things going at once. Yeah, we can figure that out, right? We can figure it out. So I think it's kind of something like this, you know, not to put my husband out there. I'm sure he doesn't care. He's probably like, hey, tell my wife to tell Lenor to, you know, have one less thing going on. It can be. Well, I'm a Virgo. I like to multitask. I also have ADHD, so it's like I live in a world of just many things happening at once. So let's see. We'll look at this gratitude deck. It is the little deck of appreciation. Okay. And I like these ones because they're little and they're just cute and they have nice messages. Okay, let's see. And we're going to flip through and stop where it feels right. And enjoy the routine. It may not be exciting, but it means everything is flowing smoothly. Yes. Yeah. I like that one. I guess I think the older I get, the more I love like checking things off of my daily list of stuff to do. It really is quite fulfilling. So yeah, when I'm like, this is just, you know, the same thing almost every day. But, you know, when I get to the end and I've almost got everything I set out to do done, I feel pretty dang good. So yes, it's going smoothly, and that is the win there, right? So, let's see. Libra, I love you, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much, and it is free to nope, that's not the right one. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. It is free to subscribe. There we go. Also, I am saying something and then I'm thinking, how long was this video? Where are we at? So my brain takes a detour there. But also, yes, if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. They mean the world to me. And again, I will tell you I love you, and I thank you. Thank you for being patient with this illness again. You know, it seems like once a month during flu season we're getting some kind of flu or whatever. So thank you for getting through it with me, and yeah, take care of yourself. We'll talk in just a few days. Good night.